Hey everybody, it is good to be with you and welcome to again Managing Our Mondays. And so the whole purpose of this again is to give you that cutting edge for the rest of the week. And again, go over this again and again and again because we are on what is called learning the law of success. And that's basically what this is. And it's going to help you out with every endeavor in your life, and especially in relationships and so forth. And so we've been unpacking a topic called the power of positive resistance. Now, in that, we've been looking at complacency and the tendency to say that's good enough, okay? And so you need to avoid that at all cost, okay? That is just a broad path that is going to end up costing you more in life than anything else. And very few people travel the narrow road. And that narrow road, which is really the autobahn of your life, and what I'm referring to or alluding to is really integrity. Now, that's not the topic today. I want to continue to unpack complacency and the reality of that and where it comes from, and the thought of that is just good enough. But with mentioning integrity, this is a narrow path that again very few people will stay on. And when you get up onto this path of integrity and you follow that narrow path, and it is a narrow path, I will assure you this is the path to a greater life. And then to stay in that greater life is by always maintaining integrity. Now, with that said, let's again look at complacency. So the tendency or temptation to fall into complacency or the thought of that is good enough, okay? That comes from your brain. It doesn't come from your mind. Remember what I said to you. Everybody is absolutely designed for success. However, you are programmed for failure. Now, your mind, and this is so important, your mind is the potential weapon for success in your life. So the programming of your brain must be disrupted with this potential weapon called your mind for success. One of the things that I had you do, and I hope you kept on doing that, is by now speaking out these seven power filled words that releases the successes that are arranged for your life. Now, listen to what I'm saying. These things are arranged for your life, and that was greater things today. Greater things are coming my way. And what I want you to start doing now, again, is to offset this programming, to disrupt it, is I just want you to simply say these seven words on top of that. Failure is turned off in my life. Failure is turned off in my life. You must resist now the temptation when you are speaking this way and when you are moving on to this is a law for success. When you are moving in this direction, you must now resist. Remember, everybody is resisting and submitting to something, and that is determining the future of your life. So now you must resist the temptation to complain. What? Yeah. Yeah. And then you must resist the temptation to whine. So, on top of saying that failure is turned off in my life, you should also say whining is turned off in my life. Complaining is turned off in my life. This is really, really a big deal. Trust me as we go and continue to unpack this, okay? And just a couple more little sessions here as we're unpacking this complacency and the thought to just say that's good enough. Now, until you leave this planet, hear me, you are always going to have problems that you need to address, okay? You're going to have to address them. And the solving of these problems or the solutions for these problems will come by a variety of resources at your disposal prearranged. Again, this is so important for you to understand, because now what I'm saying is, because again, the brain wants to say there are no solutions. The brain wants to say you're a victim. The brain, but that is an organ that can be programmed, or an organ that can be exercised for success. And that's where your mind comes in. And again, you are designed for success. Your mind is wired for success, okay? And so you're going to, again, have to disrupt this pattern and realize that solutions and problems solved are already arranged for you, and there are resources that have been prearranged for you to utilize and to release to see these things taken care of, okay? So now, while we are on this journey, you've got to realize this is an adventure in your life, okay? And the fastest way, I should say, that drains the energy out of life, okay? The fastest way that just can zap everything from you, okay, and your happiness in your life, is to think that you have to carry everything. What am I talking about? You're going to have to now start resisting, all right, that the temptation that you are the savior of the world, all right, or that you have to save the world. This is a tactic of pride, and again, it is the quickest way to frustration and resentment. To get out of that ditch, you're going to have to know in your mind knows this, and you're going to have to release this. You're going to have to know with your mind that all of the answers that you need are going to be now discovered. And that's what it is. It's a time for discovery. And it's not that they're hidden from you. It's, again, this brain of yours that was programmed, that is so quick to go to the negative, so quick to go to quit, so quick to give up. Listen to me. Anyone that had decided that they were going to look for lost treasure, whether it was buried treasure, you're like, come on, Jude, or whether it was treasure that was lost on these galleon ships that came over, they want with the attitude, they want with the mindset, not for failure, they want for the mindset for success. And look, there were so many things against them, but they didn't go with the thought that thousands of people have tried this before. They had to disrupt that thinking with the mindset for success, okay? Which, again, this comes from your mind. It doesn't come from your brain. The reality of success that you are designed for comes from your mind. So they then pursued that with passion. They pursued that with drive. And in spite of all the opposition that could come against them, they turned failure. Failure was turned off in their life. Complaining, this is a big deal. Complaining was turned off in their life. Whining was turned off in their life. Now listen to me. No one who ever did anything significant in life ever did it by themselves, solo. So there will always be people involved in regards to your successes. The thoughts and ideas may be your own, but to bring the successes to come to pass will always involve other people. And other people, unfortunately, will, again, that's that broad road. There will be that road for complacency. There will be that road for, well, that's good enough, or to complain, or to whine about it. And that's just a given. But these prearranged people that are in your life, they're there, need to be utilized, and you need to understand that some for longer periods of time, others are just momentarily, okay? And so they've been placed there to release the successes that are in your life, and you need to know now how to see this come to pass. And this is just a real simple rule that we're gonna finish out here on, okay? And this, and I'm going to give you a couple other as we go along in the weeks to come. But here's a real simple rule to live by, to again to stay on the road for success. That is the autobahn of your life, to enjoy that. And one of those simple rules that I always do is I I keep a smile on file. That's it. I keep a smile on file. What are you talking about? Here's a great example. A few weeks ago, I had a persistent problem that could not get resolved. Now, I could have got frustrated, I could have got irritated, but I decided that in spite of all of that, excuse me, that I knew that there was a solution to this, and it was prearranged. So I had to make a phone call, and when I made a phone call, man, I purposed. Listen to me. Even though I'm on a phone, I can still make someone smile, and so can you. And so this is just a great tool. And so I decided that I was going to be very kind, though it was a pretty serious situation, and I got resistance. And in spite of the resistance, I determined I'm going to make this person smile. And so I did by just a simple little joke and all that. And they promised me that I was going to get some quick action on this. Okay, well, I didn't. So then I made another phone call, and I got a different individual, and I took down their names and so forth. And I was determined that I was going to make them smile, and I did with a little joke and all of that. And they did the same thing. In fact, they gave me another confirmation number that I could refer to. And so a little bit of time went by, and I didn't get any results. And so I made a third phone call. And so in that third phone call, I got someone totally different. I gave them my two referral numbers. I remained persistent in not getting into a path of frustration or agitation with complaining or whining, because again, this is all part of the brain too. Complaining and whining is a result of the programming of the brain. And so I stayed friendly, I stayed kind. I expressed my two numbers, confirmation numbers that I was given, the two individuals that I spoke to, and I determined I was going to make them smile because I kept a smile on file. This is a big deal. And so that third person said to me, well, we're going to look into why these two confirmation numbers weren't referred to, and that you know the system that went through. Basically, I was blown off again. So I made a fourth phone call. And on that fourth phone call, I got a hold of this wonderful woman, and I explained to her, and I gave the three confirmation numbers, and she assured me that this matter would be looked into, and it would be quickly resolved. And again, I was determined to make her smile, and so with that particular incident, I told her that my name was Jude, and I said that my parents must have been caught up in the Beatle age, because I got a brother named John, I got a brother named Paul, I got a sister named Mary, and and Mother Mary comes to me. I got a sister named Rita, Rita the meter maid, and she laughed, and we had a great time. And again, do you see what I'm doing? I'm keeping that smile, because there is such a thing as called the laws of attraction, but a smile is always kept on file with people. It always is. It is awesome for you, and this is part of the law of success. So I did not get anything resolved. So I made a fifth phone call, and guess who I got? I got the lady that when I talked to her about my name, and she said, "Oh, Mr. Nowak, Jude, I remember nothing was taken care of." I said, "Nothing has been taken care of up until this point." And she said, now listen to me. You made me smile so much that I had a wonderful day. I can't tell you what a difference that made in my life. Now hear me. I had three other phone calls prior to that, and I know they smiled. But they decided now not to let that affect them. This one decided to let them, but those smiles were still on file with them. And they are going to come into use somewhere down the line. Trust me, in my life, they will. And so, but this young lady, she opened up the how is your life going, and what's going on with you today? And I proceeded just to tell her. I said, everything's going great, except my father-in-law got bit by a dog a few weeks ago. And she was like, oh my. I said, it's nothing serious, everything's going well. I said, but sadly there's been some side effects from it. She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, my mother-in-law's been telling me that he scratches at the door every time he wants to go outside. And she started laughing. I said, and then every time my mother-in-law comes home, he greets her. He immediately goes on the floor and he rolls on his back and he puts both his legs and his feet up in the air and starts wagging and shaking uncontrolled. And she started laughing and she said, you have made me laugh again. It is so. And she said, hold on. Listen now. I'm going to my supervisor and getting them on the line. And so they got the supervisor on the line, and she was telling the supervisor what I had said in regards to my father-in-law, and they were laughing. And I said, yeah. I said, I am not kidding. I said, the toughest thing is when he starts scooting across the carpet. Well, they laughed, and then the supervisor said, we are so sorry. This should have been taken care of, and there will be action on this starting. And they gave me the date, and they did. And it happened. So here's the point. The smile that was on file was working the whole while. The smile that was on file was working the whole while, and it turned out to be that road for success. Are you hearing me? Just a smile. And there's other little things that I want to share for you. So again, complacency is of the brain. You've got to understand that. Complaining is of the brain. Whining is of the brain. And it is to keep your life contained. But the mind is for success when life presents you for test. Okay? And so it's time now for you to design your life instead of just living in life. It's time for you to design your life instead of just living in life. So today, greater things are coming your way. Failure has been turned off in your life. Complaining is turned off in your life. And whining is turned off in your life. And so that's what you need to keep in mind. I want to thank you so very, very much for taking the time to be a part of this. And then next week, we're going to continue to unpack that. And we're going to move on in the future here to taking one day to step back, and so that you can then enjoy the next 6 days. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you next week.